Hello guys, I wanted to talk with you about this Newsweek article that was released, which made some pretty bold claims, just essentially outright lies in regards to Biden's promises on stimulus checks. So back in after the election, but before the Georgia and leading up to the Georgia Senate runoff, the Georgia Georgia senators, the two Democratic ones, as well as Biden, had made many public claims or many public statements saying, vote for us and you're going to get a $2,000 check guaranteed, and you're going to get it out soon. It's gonna be sent out immediately. The words "immediately" have been used. And the $2,000 check thing, that statement was made both before and after the $600 check was passed in December. So anyway, now that's kind of been backed away from. What was a $2,000 check sent out immediately has become a $1,400 check sent out March, April, something like that. So basically, Biden is backing off of his promise of these checks, and really, and the fact that it's almost a way of, it's kind of like buying your vote, but then they're not actually paying off. They're not actually paying for the vote. I mean, if the $2,000 check is the cost of a vote, and they're paying for that, then they go ahead and keep the money after you've made the vote. That's what it seems like. I mean, they're paying out, but not as much as they were supposed to, not as much as they said they would, and not as soon as it was supposed to be out. But why this is interesting is Newsweek has made a statement in an article saying, in an article they basically go to say that the people who are making claims that Joe Biden lied about the stimulus checks, that they're lying. So the people who are saying, according to Newsweek, the people who are saying Joe Biden lied are liars. That's some pretty powerful coverage. That's some pretty. They're playing good defense, or at least they're trying to. They're trying to play defense here, but they're not going about it the way they should have. They could have just said, well, Biden said, but I mean, well, Biden meant that the $1,400 plus the $600 was going to equal $2,000, and a check being sent out immediately is a relative. It's relative to the extent that, well, one person could say immediately is the end of January, another person could say immediately is March or April. That's all relative. They didn't make that argument. They just made this blatant, this bold statement that the people who are claiming that Joe Biden lied are liars. Which is just, it's strange that they would make a statement like, it's just really strange that they would make a statement like that. Even given that they might favor Joe Biden, the network might prefer a Joe Biden presidency. This kind of obvious defense that they're playing is just something that you didn't really see. Well, you saw this kind of coverage with Trump and Fox News, but the difference is that Fox News is most people see Fox News as lesser than other news networks. Now, I think that Fox News is I don't like Fox News, but CNN and MSNBC, CNN they could be seen as more professional, you could say, by the demeanor, the way they dress, the way they talk, even right down to the corporate sponsorship in the commercials seems a little bit more proper, but the idea that Fox News is lesser than doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But the idea that Newsweek is covering, to the extent that Fox News, like, Newsweek isn't treated like Fox News. You know what I mean? Like if Fox News covers for Trump, it's not that weird because everybody already dunks on Fox News. I mean, Tucker Carlson is the saving grace of Fox News, and even he's only okay on his best days. And it's just Newsweek. When you hear Newsweek, do you think? I mean, is it seen as a professional news organization, or is it like this kind of thing is to be expected from your Fox News or your One America News? That's to be expected. At least the general the conventional wisdom would say. But for it to come from Newsweek this early on, and covering for him on an issue that is, I mean, it's obviously important that people get back on their feet, but we're talking about a difference of $600 on a check that really isn't going to be enough to make or break people right now anyway. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that people appreciate the checks. I know I do, but we're still talking about short-term fixes that people are just not going to be. People are still not going to be in good shape, even with these checks. The people who are really hurting aren't going to be a whole lot better. I mean, these checks are a Band-Aid. And I guess what I'm saying is, why now Newsweek, and why Newsweek? I mean, they're not even the first place I would think of for doing this kind of thing in coverage of Biden. But expect this kind of thing to continue going forward. You'll see Biden getting kid gloves. When they handle him with kid gloves when it comes to how the media is going to talk with him. Except for like Fox News and One America News, they're going to talk about him the way that they want to talk about him. But it's just a little surprising, and that it's that strong of a lie, like a lie that big, even relatively inconsequential. It's just kind of a shock. But anyway, credit to Secular Talk for covering this video in a video earlier today. That's where I got the story. But anyway, thank you for watching.